Hey folks, down here at the International Minerals and Resources Conference again with Peter Konstek from Transmin. And I must say, I've just been using this, and over the gentleman's right shoulder, you can see a
rock breaker
in Perth. And I was controlling it and breaking rocks because it's a whole new world of industrial technology. And could you tell us a bit about the company and rock breaking?
Yeah, so Transmin it's been involved in mechanical equipment now for just over 30 years, and we embarked on this project about 10 years ago to automate our rock breakers and provide remote operation facilities. Since then, we've really evolved the product. We had a small army of people working on it, and now we've got full collision avoidance, automated movements, and giving real returns for our customers. Right now, remote operations is a pretty big thing in the mining industry, and it's been really successful. So BHP, FMG, Rio Tinto, and Newcrest are all now come on board, and it's sort of becoming the standard now for rock breaker controls.
Yeah. Because as we've been talking about the business case for automation and the business case for how do you sell something, essentially, in this case, and talking about a grizzly, which I hadn't heard the term before, but essentially the grid that goes over the chute where all the rocks are put through, and when they have a stoppage on that, could you take us through the process of where this fits into a mine's life?
Yeah, so again, it's a little bit different to traditional nuts and bolts. Essentially, it is software, so I guess the business case is different, and everyone's looking for that return on investment. So, a typical operation, there'll be a rock breaker up on a plant, and there'll be either a grizzly or a gyratory crusher. There'll be a remote control centre keeping an eye on the cameras and spotting the blockages. They'll get on the radio, call the operator, send him up there to break the rocks. That could take sometimes 5 or 10 minutes. Not all these plants have full-time operators just waiting to break rocks. So what we find is that 10 minutes where you're waiting for the operator is wastage. You've got rocks that are blocked up in the grizzly, you've got trucks that are banking up.
So do they stop the whole line when that happens? They don't just pour stuff over the top of it?
Well, when it's blocked, it's blocked. So if there's no more material going through, by putting more material on top, it's going to be even harder to unblock. So generally, you let it go a little bit, but eventually you have to clear that blockage. And that is downtime. That is a blockage. Like using a rock breaker is not something that mine site wants to do. It's a necessity, and it is stopping a blockage. So again, they'll see the blockage, and with the remote control system, people in the city could be thousands of kilometres from the mines, and they'll take over remotely. They'll fix the blockage, and the trucks can keep on running. So
you were sharing with me that you don't even really need to stop and be told there's a blockage because people are monitoring this from remote centres.
Exactly. And they're keeping an eye on it, and they're ones that are normally coordinating the operators. In this case, they just become the operator and deal with the blockage. Yeah. So.
And the amazing collision avoidance systems. I'll put some insert videos and things on so you can have a look. And what's the secret to breaking a good rock?
Look, it's pretty difficult actually. A lot of the times rock breaking isn't rock breaking. It's it's moving, flipping, turning, stirring. If you're mining below the water table, you could just really have a lot of clay and sticky material. So look, it is quite difficult. It does take a lot of time to become good at it. You might look at a rock and it will be in the wrong position, and you might have to flip it up and try and get a better angle at the rock. So it is quite complicated, and as the mines are getting different product from different areas of the mine, that will change quite quickly and with blast patterns. So one day you could be using the rock breaker once or twice, and the next day you might be using it 10 or 12 times. So it just comes with experience. So
I'd suggest you're bringing hyper intelligent software technology and automation and remote viewing to an established industry. I could suggest that's a complex area. What do you see as the areas in mining that are ripe for more innovation?
I think remote operation that we've seen a lot of our clients is really picking up. Having that sort of, I guess that overarching view of the mine site, seeing things at a distance, and when you're on the ground, you can't really sort of get a holistic view of what's going on. And we're finding a lot of our clients now really, turning to remote operations to have better coordination over the plant, better visibility over the plant, and things like this. This is one of those classic cases where it's a people intensive process. You've got to move people around to get them to the controls, and I guess what we're saying is, why take the people to the controls when you can just take the controls to the people? There is obviously the question that we've had about making this thing fully autonomous, and I guess as a business we always try and provide solutions that have a return on investment. So autonomous operation is something that we've been talking about with rock breakers for a while, and we have done some trials, and look, at the end of the day, we've seen different operators that have different levels of performance. And where we feel at the moment with sort of current available technologies that going fully autonomous is probably not as good as a person. Like, it's probably going to be a little bit slower, and the big money maker, or I guess the big return, is getting those controls to the people. And if you've got good operators in the city where they're consistent, they're in a nice office environment, where on a site you'll have quite transient sort of operators. So it's about having good, consistent operators, good access to the controls, and we think that's the real money maker at the moment. That's the real return. Going full autonomous, it is, I guess, the next evolution, but at this stage it's probably going to be a little bit slower than a good person. If we can make those people more available, put them in a better working environment, a safer working environment, that's the real return of this solution. And where we see, I guess, a lot of the future in mining is this remote operation.
Beautiful. If there's one thing you wanted people in the world to know about Transmin, what would you tell them?
Transmin's a great company. I've been here for quite a long time now. It's a family business. It's great to be able to come up with some really good ideas and just put these things into action. So, by all means, jump on our website, give us a call, and come see what we do.
Yeah. And last question: Australian engineering worldwide. You seem to be across the world. Where are you operating?
We have equipment in 50 countries. So we've been around for a long time. I think actually might be slightly more than 50 now. So we've got equipment in a lot of places.
Hey, to quote a slogan I heard last week: "Experience you can buy." Cheers.
Great, thanks.